Okay, the format of this press conference will be as follows. I'll quickly go over the issues first, and later on I'll leave it to a roundtable conference where you can ask me some questions if you have. If you haven't understood, you can shoot anything and I'll respond to it. The purpose of this conference is to address the Chinese community, because Chinese are in dominant numbers in Markham, and basically Markham is the city of Chinese. Now we have a population of almost 340,000 in Markham, and out of that we have over 125,000 Chinese, and we have ethnic minorities almost 72% of Markham. So that leaves out only 28% other communities which are non-ethnic, means predominantly the white community, 28%. I have to bring to your attention certain stark facts which a lot of Chinese are not aware of, because Mayor Scarpiti has I'll just give a small break so that they are up to date. Because Mayor Scarpiti's main voter base is amongst the Chinese. Although Chinese vote in very small numbers, Chinese voting is basically about 20 to 25%. But because their numbers are large, they are decisive in any election. So Mayor Scarpiti's main base is amongst the Chinese, which is a dedicated base, and I have come to address that base, that they are not choosing the correct mayor. Mayor Scarpiti also focuses on divisive politics in Markham by wooing the Tamil votes. Last time, in last two elections, there was a councillor, Logan Kanapati, from Ward 7, who helped Mayor Scarpiti get most of the Tamil votes in Ward 7. And I, as a visible minority, distinct visible minority, could not get any vote from the Tamils. This time, Mayor Scarpiti has fielded another candidate who used to be a councillor, a Muslim councillor, by the name Khalid Usman, and that is again in Ward 7. And he is now trying to woo the Muslim votes because the Tamils are not going to vote for him. But one thing is certain, that Chinese has always voted for Mr. Scarpiti, because sometimes he sings in Chinese songs, and because being an incumbent mayor, he has a lot of power to attend functions of Chinese which we don't get to do, because we are not the incumbent mayors. Then he has a lot of powers to oblige a lot of factions of Chinese, especially like Dr. Ken Eng, who's supposed to be the president of Chinese Federation of whatever in Markham. He is with the Mayor Scarpiti. So when few select leaders are predominantly influenced by the mayor by quid pro quo status, like I'll give you this, you give me back this, so they mislead the Chinese community, and Chinese community doesn't understand the implications of electing a mayor who does not work for the interest of the Chinese community and who doesn't work for the interest of the residents of Markham. So I'll give you a brief description about myself. I am a Sikh, and many of Chinese people don't recognize who the Sikhs are. Sikhs are basically a very visible minority, the lowest population we have in Markham. In whole of Markham, we have only 1,000 votes of Sikhs. So at one time, Sikhs were dominating here along with other South Asian population, and slowly I don't know where they have moved. They have moved to Brampton or Mississauga, and I have continued to live here since 1998 after I completed my MBA. This was my first home, and I never went to any other municipality. Since 1998, I have been living here. So I am an MBA in finance. I did it from Schulich School of Business. I topped in the program. I graduated at top of the class, was awarded a Gerstein scholarship, which is a prestigious scholarship. I also hold a CFA, which is a Chartered Financial Analyst designation, and I am also a derivatives market specialist. I worked in telecom industry as an analyst, and I worked on Bay Street for a couple of years. And before that, before doing my MBA, I had managed a large conglomerate business which was involved in a lot of operations. And my schooling has been in a public boarding school in a British hill station in India. And I left my home at age 7, and I have never been back to my home since then. So here are the issues which I want to bring to your kind attention so that they can be disseminated, and then the voters are intelligent enough how they want to vote. Because I have been bringing up these issues, that's why I brought my 2006 flyer also. I have 2010 flyer also, and every time I have been raising these consistent issues. You may not be aware that in 2006, when I was really fed up of all the federal political parties, and I took an initiative as an immigrant to launch a independent federal party in Canada. Of course, we could not register it, but we fielded 2 or 3 parliament candidates in Canada, and because minimum time required was 4 months to be in existence to get your symbol on the ballot paper. So it was a hard task, but I took the initiative. What I achieved during that time was, one of my major issues was Chinese head tax, which was $5,000, which was taxed on Chinese around 1900s when they wanted to call their wives or spouses into Canada. And I raised that issue in an election, in a federal election. And my second issue was $975 head tax, which was landing fee, which was introduced by Liberals. Because I was running in Markham against John McCallum, these issues caught the eyes of Liberal Party, and they acted on it. A lot of people later claimed that it was because of their associations and all that the Liberals took off the Chinese head tax. It wasn't so. Because associations have been working since last 50 years, and Government of Canada never bothered to ask for an apology. Because I was running against Defense Minister of Canada in Markham, it was a prestigious seat for them. They thought that immigrants and Chinese might vote for this candidate because his issues are so strong, and because he might get votes. So they became a little confused. They announced immediately, if we come in power, we'll give an apology to Chinese for the head tax, and we will also scrap the $975 landing fee. And rightly, Conservative Party also followed, and when they came to power, Conservatives abolished that fee, first brought it to half, and then they immediately asked for pardon or apology from Chinese community. And later a lot of Chinese associations came on the forefront from Vancouver, here and there. They thought that it is because of their hard work it has happened. Of course they worked hard, but unless it came in a political point, which I brought it by participating in elections, so I achieved those 2 things, which is a very big achievement. Thereafter, I focused my whole life on Markham. I noticed that there were a lot of anomalies which were happening in Markham. First thing I felt was, why was our property tax so high in Markham? If you compare the properties in Toronto and Markham, sometimes Toronto properties are more expensive than Markham properties. Still, our property values are inflated here, and we are paying about, on an average, $6,000, $7,000 to $10,000 in property tax. So then I started understanding the finances of Markham and York region. As an educated person who has a lot of interest in public life, and I am a consumer advocate, I am a known consumer advocate. I have taken up a lot of cases on behalf of individual consumers against corporations. So I am an activist. So I developed an interest that let me see where are they misusing these funds? Why our property taxes are high? So I'll give you certain very hard facts about Markham. Markham city collects $565 million in property taxes by way of tax levy on residents. And we get to keep only $127 million in Markham to run our operations. That's a very small amount to manage a city. And out of that $127 million, we pay out $111 million to salaries of municipal employees. There is a 2,300 workforce in city of Markham comprising of full-time, part-time and contract employees. That's a very large workforce for a population of little over 300,000. So they are paying $111 million in salaries and wages, plus their pension benefits and all those things, and those employees are mostly out of Markham. They are not from Markham. Although they are employed by Markham City Hall, they come from various places. They come from as far as Oshawa and Burlington and all those places. So I was shocked that $111 million goes to salaries and only $27 million is left to run the operations of this city. Then I noticed another thing, that their operating budget is $187 million because they need $187 million to run the city. Then what they do for shortfall is they try to scramble through recreation fees, swimming fees, skate fees, user fees. When we rent facilities with town of Markham, we have fees. When we park cars, we get parking tickets. And from those sort of things, they were trying to make the shortfall. Now, Mr. Scarpetti has been bragging since many years that Markham's tax is the lowest. It is not the lowest. It is a facade, it is a misleading statement he makes. Markham's tax is a tailored tax. You can twist the numbers. I, as a finance guy, as an economist, I can twist the number and make reports appear to be likable. What happens in Markham is, firstly, they collect that consistent tax, but then there is a shortfall of about $60 million to run operations. Then what they do is they quietly jack up the recreation fees, swimming fees, license fees and all those fees. They have gone up by 28 to 30% in the last 4 years. And 4 years those fees have gone up, and in those 4 years the salaries have gone up by $25 million. So basically Mayor Scarpetti is not running Markham per se, he is running the employees of Markham. He is trying to please that population to stay popular in City Hall. So technically, if you subtract from $127 million, $111 million, we are left with $16 million to run the operations of the city. They collect another $60 million from other sources like recreation fees and other things. Out of that, they have to put $30 million in reserve because that is required by provincial regulation. They have to put some money in reserve. So they are only able to use $30 million from there. So basically our whole city is run by $40 million. So can you imagine running such a large city starting from 19th Avenue to Steeles and from York-Durham line to Thornhill just in $40 million. $40 million people run one company. And here we are trying to run the whole city in $40 million. So what I am saying is that is the reason that you don't see much roads paved in Markham. They spend only $5 million on maintenance of roads in a year. What is $5 million for such large number of roads in Markham? There are hundreds of roads. So basically Mayor Scarpetti's focus is not on running operations of Markham. He is into some other things because the gravy lies in York region. Now, number two, he says that there has been 0% increase in tax rate, but he bases his value to influence the citizen, mostly Chinese population, because that is a dominant population. Poor people don't even get to see their tax returns, how the city calculates. He's saying, oh, there was only an increase of $30-40 on your tax bill. But he's basing that increase, this year they increased it by 2.58% or 2.54. He's basing his increase on a property value of $485,000. Do you get anything in Markham for $485,000? An average property value in Markham is